Imagine having a mix of information from all around the known world, prediction and forecast in the palm of your hand, all compounded to fit into your pocket. Sounds practical, right? It might seem familiar now, what with all those devices such as smartphones, apps and research engines. But picture this in the Victorian era. What did they have before excessively expensive cell phones? Well, they had almanacks, or as I like to call them, the Victorian Google. Alright, they were not all English nor from the 19th century. However, the almanacks used to spawn my words today are from the famous Victorian London, hence the nickname. But let's set the record straight and explain, using England as example, what almanacks really are. In England, almanacks weren't rare or treasured items, but rather mass-produced everyday objects. Typically printed in octavo or duodecimo format, the portability was key. From the mid-16th to the late 17th century, these unassuming publications held a crucial place in the lives of people from all ranks of English society. Produced primarily in several London printing houses, these almanacks were sold in vast numbers. The market was, according to Smith in his research from 2008, crowded, frantic and profitable. While the exact printing methods varied, they relied on the common techniques of the time and relatively inexpensive paper. But what exactly did these almanacks contain? As Smith highlights, these weren't just simple calendars, they were complex, multifaceted texts. Yes, a detailed monthly calendar was essential, but so were the listings of local fairs, road routes, and historical timelines. Geographic or demographic information, medical advice, and agricultural tips were commonplace. As Smith points out, these were utilitarian texts used for everything from forecasts for the weather to future events and even the influence of planets on the human body. Indeed, a significant portion of the content centered on astrology. Alison A. Chapman underscores the crucial role these publications played in spreading astrological knowledge. When people consulted almanacs or sought the advice of astrologers, they were in many cases seeking to understand God's providence. The almanac, therefore, played a crucial role in preserving and spreading astrological knowledge, integrating it into everyday life. As Chapman explains, this resulted in early modern almanacs being often tailored to specific cities. This localized approach enhanced the almanac's relevance and accuracy for its readers. The author also highlights that ordinary men and women wanted time and place to mean something. These almanacs provided a framework for understanding the world, connecting daily life to broader cosmic patterns. The detailed temporal and geographical descriptions within them allowed people to make sense of the surroundings. Indeed, almanacs weren't just for the elite, they are registers of purchases of 2 almanacs for 4 pence in 1619, around €4 nowadays. The affordability meant they were accessible to a broad spectrum of society, farmers, merchants, scholars, and ordinary householders. As Smith emphasizes, these were used right across literate English society, men and women, urban and rural, elite and non-elite. The rise of the almanac, Alice A. Chapman argues, was directly linked to advancements in printing technology and a corresponding increase in literacy. Over 1 million copies were printed in England between 1664 and 1666 alone. The sheer volume of the production meant they were ubiquitous. However, this also contributed to the low survival rate. Once the year had passed, they were often repurposed, used for lining pie dishes, lighting tobacco, or even as toilet paper. This ephemerality explains why many surviving almanacs are found in local archives, rather than in museums or national libraries. In essence, the almanac served as a vital tool for navigating daily life in early modern world here in England. It was a combination of a practical guide, a personal diary, and a social barometer. By examining this text, we gain an intimate glimpse into the lives of those who lived centuries ago, revealing the everyday concerns and experiences of a society long gone. But now that we know what almanacs are, it is easier to understand why digitizing them is important. As mentioned previously, many almanacs are made of paper, which is prone to deterioration, yellowing, and brittleness after decades or centuries, like many other written artifacts. However, almanacs are often reference documents, and over time, frequent thumbing, handling, and improper storage can lead to breakage, making physical preservation even more difficult. In addition, many almanacs were published with limited print runs, and some editions were distributed only in specific regions. As a result, fewer and fewer almanacs have survived over time, increasing scarcity. Secondly, some almanacs are heavy, complex, and lengthy. They record a great deal of historical information and, therefore, do not make it easy to find specific information, whereas through digitization, we can preserve these historical documents while making them more accessible online. Additionally, digital almanacks allow for user interaction, leading to more opportunities for research and engagement through searching, data analytics, and connections to other historical resources. To illustrate those points, here are a few examples of digitized libraries and archives. We have the National Archives of Ireland, whose almanac digitization projects include DMP reports dating from 1915 to 1916. Those files are monthly reports on the police in Dublin, Ireland, documenting the state of social order and police operations in Dublin in those 2 years until the days prior to the Easter Rising. Still in the National Archives of Ireland, the database Women in 20th Century Ireland and the papers from Hilda Tweedy give us a glimpse into the social constructions, expectations, and realities of the lives of women and housewives in 20th century Ireland. In the UK, the British Library, very active in the digitization of manuscripts, have many almanacs online, such as the Astronomical Almanac Online. On the other side of the Atlantic, the Library of Congress participates in this trend with their own digitized almanacs, such as those. These examples broadcast the universal effort of digitization of ancient material and their relevance to today's world. This relevance mainly concerns research and analysis of the past. For example, thanks to data visualization and using the almanacs from the Dorman collection, we can obtain two charts. First, the population change in Europe in 1851, and second, the ones in England and Wales from 1801 to 1871. The first chart shows the distribution of the population of European countries, helping us understand the demographic significance of each country. The second graph shows trends in population growth with data for each decade broken down by gender, showing the growth patterns of males, females, and the total population. The graphical presentation of the data makes complex statistical information more intuitive and helps readers quickly capture the core information. Overall, digitization and data visualization of almanacs not only protect valuable historical documents, but also greatly enhance the accessibility and research value of these materials. By using digitization technology combined with data analysis and visualization tools, we can make historical data that is otherwise complex and difficult to interpret clearer and more intuitive. The reason almanacs are so full of historical information is because they also held a role as personal records. Sort of a journal, they were conveniently designed for notation. Title pages and prefaces often encourage readers to add their own notes. Some versions, called blanks, even included empty pages specifically for this purpose. These notations, as Smith argues, constitute a rich form of life writing. Does this remind you of anything? A place where we can find daily chronicles, birth and death recordings, health issues, weather patterns, travel details, financial transactions, legal or employment agreements? Yeah, me too. But then, why don't we just go back to the source and get the almanacs back in fashion? Well, because in the same way we evolved from oral transmission to writing to manuscript copies to printing to digitized information, we as humans always find ways to make things more accessible. And it's this access aspect that really makes the difference between this Victorian Google and our current Google. Yes, almanacs were already a first step of improvement to spread information and allow public participation, but now, it's immediate, it's everywhere. As Aruna and TianZheng note in the comparison of the traditional and digitized libraries, the physical and digital worlds offer different opportunities and limits, mainly in favor of digitization. Less space, less people, less delay, less expensive, less limits, but more information. That's what the internet and hence any digitized information promises. Advertisement, forecasting, news, topics, almanacs have it all but wider access. And that's why digitization is important, because accessibility matters, to give an equal opportunity to as many as possible. Yes, not everyone has a computer at home or even lives in a place where public spaces have any form of new technological tools. Yes, servers take more and more space to answer the increasing numbers of digitized information and internet users. Yes, it's not perfect, but no human invention has ever been.